These are the top 10 things you didn't notice in K-pop Demon Hunters, and 99% of fans miss these. Subscribe to the channel if you are looking for K-pop Demon Hunters updates and content. Rumi's micro-expressions. Rumi is one of the most complex characters in the Huntrix band, and while she appears to be this cheerful and friendly girl, her micro-expressions throughout the film tell us everything about how she's feeling. This is visible especially during key scenes where she reveals she has an almost supernatural awareness of her surroundings. For us fans, we often miss even the most subtle detail, like the way her pupils dilate, her jaw tightens, and her breathing slows down whenever there are demons or threats that are near. But here's where it gets crazier. These changes also occur before any obvious danger appears, giving us the idea that Rumi's connection to her old demon heritage is strong and not just reactive. Take a look at the scene in the alleyway where she senses trouble moments before the demons appear on screen, positioning herself to protect the group without any specific signal. Similarly, during her soda pop performance, her subtle frown and tight posture also signal that something is odd, even though everything around her seems to be normal. It's always her micro-expressions that tell her that she's about to face danger, and perhaps it's a connection to Gwi-Ma's energy. By analyzing her power to sense danger, it's clear that Rumi isn't just any emotional member on the team. She's an amazing scout, always knowing the next attacks. The animators deliberately highlighted these subtle shifts in her expressions, making her a powerful observer and protector of the group. While Rumi's abilities might have surprised you, the next detail is something that's even more subtle. Mira's wardrobe and emotional isolation. Mira's wardrobe is another hidden storytelling tool that most of us overlooked. Throughout the film, she consistently wears dark and muted colors like deep blues, blacks, and reds. This is a choice she had on purpose to reflect her emotional isolation and hardened personality. What's crazy is that most of us actually do it in real life without realizing it. Warm colors like yellow, pastel pink, or gold are commonly associated with comfort, trust, and emotional openness. They are almost entirely absent from Mira's clothing, which is a shame. This is huge because it visually separates her from the other Huntrix girls, especially Rumi, whose wardrobe gradually incorporates brighter colors as she grows more confident and accepting of her own abilities. Mira's emotional armor is much stronger, and I am sure we might see more of her in the upcoming movies. Even in the moments of her vulnerability, her color choices reinforce the idea that she's emotionally closed off, suppressing warmth, and not wanting to open up with anyone. This resistance, though, mirrors the inner struggle that she doesn't trust others, fears losing control, and needs to always be in tip-top shape, no matter what happens, because others might just abandon her if she's not always the best. Zoey's intentional offbeat movements. Zoey might feel like the least complex of the Huntrix girls at first glance, but if we look at her choreography, it holds a significant truth and a meaning that most of us already missed. Unlike Rumi and Mira, who move in perfect synchronization, you can see that Zoey intentionally performs sudden offbeat movements throughout the movie. She delays spins, finishes gestures slightly late, and adds small, unnecessary moves during the group performances. This may appear as a casual quirk or animation oversight, but it actually symbolizes Zoey's emotional conflict and deep sensitivity. Her offbeat motions reflect her perception of the world. She is slightly attuned to others' emotions, yet slightly misaligned with societal expectations. Even during her rehearsal sequences, the deviations are small enough that you would ignore the theme. If you look at it closely, you can see that she does have a unique look to her compared to both Mira and Rumi. Gwi-Ma's interactions. We have Gwi-Ma, who is the film's primary antagonist. He stands out not for physical violence, but for his subtle manipulation. Fans often miss the fact that Gwi-Ma rarely, if ever, touches the main characters directly. Instead, his influence is mostly or entirely through psychological means. For example, he would whisper in the ear, or have a weird gaze, or an aura that is enough to intimidate anyone. This makes him more of a sophisticated and insidious threat compared to other supernatural villains. In many scenes that involve Rumi, Mira, or mystery, Gwi-Ma's interventions always occur at a distance, emphasizing his dominance over their mind even if he is not physically present. His ability to manipulate and control even without being present at the location is something that is quite baffling. This just goes to show how strong he would be if he ever came into the world of K-pop demon hunters. Maybe this is just a build-up for the next sequel, and we'll get to see how strong he really is once his physical manifestation comes in. But Gwi-Ma's interactions are interesting, and the way he interacts with others is something many of us miss. Huntrix logo. Next up is the Huntrix's logo, which usually appears as a sharp and aggressive emblem carrying hidden meaning that evolves with the story. At first glance, it seems pure combative, reflecting the team's warrior identity. However, after some key revelations about Rumi's past and the emotional trauma of the team, the logo's angle and symmetry take on a whole new significance. The broken and fractured line in the emblem resembles damaged wings, subtly symbolizing that the Huntrix girls are protectors who themselves are scarred. This is the type of visual storytelling that has been going on for the whole movie. Moreover, since each member carries personal trauma that can affect their identity, the logo's evolution is also similar to that narrative, because it keeps transforming from an outward appearance to internal realities. Many fans have already observed that there are a few differences in how the logo in marketing material is versus on-screen, suggesting that these changes were intentional based on the theme that was going on. By connecting the visual logo designs with characters' psychological states, the filmmakers wanted to do something special for their fans, and they absolutely delivered. But before we move forward to the next big reveal, please give our channel a sub if you enjoyed the video so far. Sound design. And perhaps one of the most overlooked aspects of K-pop Demon Hunters is its use of sound design, which is quite clever. There are subtle low-frequency hums or quiet background tones that occur before moments of betrayal or even supernatural dangers. Most casual viewers focus on the dialogue or music, missing these audio cues entirely. These sounds serve as subconscious warnings, heightening tensions and signaling that something unexpected is about to happen even before it has happened. For example, before Guima manipulates a character or before a demon reveals himself, there is often a barely noticeable undertone that creates discomfort. It's almost eerie and definitely not random. These hums are specifically effective because they operate on a level below conscious perception, triggering our needs without making it really obvious. Mystery's silence. Mystery is one of the most interesting characters in the movie, and he communicates entirely through non-dialogue. He speaks rarely, and when he does, it's something that isn't even that important. The visual framing conveys his duality and fragmented identity. He exists in a liminal space between control and freedom, hero and captain. Even when he smiles or does casual gestures, he is tense or restrained. This speaks volumes about him, suggesting there is some internal conflict. By limiting his verbal communication, the filmmakers force the audience to interpret his body language and visual cues to understand his motivation. His silence also mirrors the secrecy surrounding the story of Mira's brother, a central subplot that ties into Mystery's original story. Every moment he is quiet, the tension grows, because viewers sense that there is more than just a character who exists there. His silence is a storytelling tool that transforms him from a passive observer into the center of attention, without even trying anything. All of this also gives us a demonstration of how nonverbal cues can be just as powerful as dialogue in character development. Fans reacting differently. Next up is the background, crowd, and fan interactions that are more than just decorative or random. They are also subtle storytelling devices used by filmmakers. During the fan signing events, the animators intentionally depict fans reacting differently to each character. Firstly, you can see that they leaned more forward towards Zoey, while keeping their cautious distance from Mira, and stared curiously at Rumi. These behaviors reflect the emotional energy that each of the characters had. Zoey is more approachable, innocent, and empathetic, which is why she draws the crowd close. Mira, on the other hand, has a more guarded and serious demeanor, which makes her intimidating to the onlookers. Rumi has a more balanced aura that keeps fans curious but uncertain about whether they should approach her or not. Casual viewers often miss this level of detail, but if you go and look at the movie again, you can see that there is a huge difference in how these fans interact with idols throughout the film. Lighting signals. Lightning is another hidden tool in K-pop Demon Hunters that the animator uses to add a storytelling element. Whenever a character lies, withholds information, or hides their emotion. They are often lit from the side below or partially obscured by shadows. Characters like Celine, Gwi-Ma, Mystery, and even Rumi during her moments of denial are rarely fully illuminated when they reveal their feelings. On the other hand, full lighting is reserved for moments of revelation or emotional honesty. This visual coding is subtle, but it signals moral clarity or ambiguity to the audience. It is an example of how cinematography can communicate the character's state, while giving them an aura of secrecy, identity, and duality that runs throughout the film. More of it also adds another layer of engagement for attentive fans who notice these little signs. Sort of like we did in the movie. The ending dance. Now we move to the final secret of today, and something that we definitely did not notice is the final performance, which is often dismissed as a fun, idle showcase. However, it carried a hidden meaning. The choreography blended traditional K-pop performances with the combat stances and ritualistic movements, symbolizing a full integration of the Huntrix girls' dual identities as performers and as K-pop idols and demon hunters. This merging indicates that the characters no longer need to separate their musical cues from their actual role, which is seen in many of the moments. Even Saja Boy's gestures indicated the same. By combining these elements, the filmmakers signaled a thematic victory. The girls have fully embraced their powers without hiding or suppressing any part of their identities. The final finale served not only as a fan service, but as the final closure that we got in the movies. Observant viewers noticed that with their early choreography, there was a subtle repetition of gestures and synchronized references that seemed like they were inspired by the traditional Korean dance or shamanic rituals. But as the movie progressed, those movements became more mature, and the Demon Hunter girls became combat experts. And that's it for the 10 things you didn't notice in K-pop, Demon Hunters. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell icon for more videos where we uncover movie secrets.